This tutorial is by Cooper Collier, lead programmer with WatersWebWorks.com. Please visit our TeamDesk expert listing if you need assistance or have any questions, and we'll be happy to help.
Okay, now once we have our successful tests here and we know our API is working, let's move on. I'm going to show you what I did to make sure this is working. Of course, your database is going to look different. I set this up very simply. I have accounts, and that's where I put a name of a person. My person's cleverly named DD, and an email address of a person. Tip: for testing purposes on your test account, use a different email account than you use to sign up for SignRequest, or you have problems. And then sign files is where I want the files to show up, and they're actually on the bottom here. So what I want to do is send a request, which we'll go over, and the request goes out, gets signed, and gets returned right here. Another important thing is you need to activate the mailbox. We're going to use the mailbox to make this happen. And yes, I've used this database before, so there's junk in my mailbox, and with the mailboxes you can't actually delete anything. So if you don't know, to get the mailbox going, you go to the Database tab and go to Email to Database and say Enable. And this is that email address. So keep that in mind. That's the email address we need. Perfect. So what's our next step? Next step is what we want to do is make a template, because the easiest way to do this is using a template. Now we're going back to SignRequest, and in SignRequest, in our team, we want to make sure that we're in the correct team. So I'm in my team for the testing, and we want to go to templates. To do a template, you do a create template first, which I've already done this, and upload a file. Upload a PDF file. That's what we want right now, is a PDF file. I've already done it, so I'm going to edit it just to show you real quick. It always shows you this. In the PDF file, this is what I had right there. Those, I'm gonna just remove those. I'm gonna remove this one, and I'm gonna remove this one because I already made it once and then realized I had to redo this training thing. So this is my PDF. That's it. We want to sign it. You can have the text name, signature, date in here also. I didn't put those in there, but they can be there. What you can do is sign anywhere on the document. So I can put the signature block here. So we want a signature block. And who needs a sign? Contact one. That's perfectly fine. Leave that like that. I put there, there, over there. It doesn't matter. We're just overlaying our signature. But what I also want, I think, is to be able to put the name in. Now, to move things in the template from TeamDesk into here, what we want to do is, before we put the text in here, we want to give it a name. So I'm going to call this, or an ID. I'm going to call it the name. Or how about client name? So I said client name. This is what is got to match when we ask TeamDesk. We're going to send over a column from TeamDesk into here, so it just automatically fills in right there for a person. So we're going to name, signature, and down here we'll just put a date, and we can pre-fill the date with today, and that's it. The only one we need to do the advanced on is anything we want to pass data from TeamDesk in going this way. Over here, make sure that you set this for only others, or else it'll sit there and wait for you to sign it. This is the name of the file. We don't need to worry about that. It can stay like that for now. Change the subject to what you want to read. Change this message to what you want to say. Right now it says, please sign this document. That's just the default one, so make it say whatever you want. set an expiration, and save it. There. Now we have a document we're going to sign. So at this point, also go down here and pull up the API, and I've done that. Right click, send it to a new tab. It comes up over here. This is the API. It's very small for you to read because I made it smaller, but pull it up on your screen, you could see it. You want to go down to the quick create and quick create SignRequest here. This is going to show you all the commands that we can send to make this happen. And we could pick this whole thing up and put it over, which I have done, but I've taken some stuff out we don't need and cleaned it up for you. But this is your reference as to what it needs. I'm going to explain as we go what we need here. So we're going to jump back over. Once we've done that, we're going to go back into our setup, and we're going to go back to our accounts table, and we're going to look at our buttons. I've made a button that says send the request. All it is a button, and in it I made a new action that is actually simply a call URL, just like the other one. Okay? In the call URL, I've edited it, and I'm going to hit edit again. This is what you're going to get. Now, I put the default of this up here in the notes, just to hold it there for a second. But this is what you're going to paste. I'm going to paste just like this. And this should probably say fix me also. There we go. I'm going to make things simpler, I'm just going to remove this right out of there, and there. Let me save that again. That makes it a little easier for us to see it. So once you get this pasted in, we're going to start filling these in with what we need to know. Okay, the from email. This needs to be from one of your active accounts. If you were to go over here and look, it says from email. It says must be a validated email. You can use the email we sent from. In this case, my account is. Okay, there, I made it that one. And here, next one here is the email name. So I might say do not reply. How's that? Okay. These two here, these will do redirects after the person signs it. Instead of going to the sign request, you've completed your signature page, you can send the person off to another page. So you'd create a simple thank you web page and put it up on the web someplace and put your URL right in there. Okay, well, I'm not using it right now. All these, we're going to kind of keep those. You can read what they are, but I have them essentially set up the best way possible for now. And subject. So subject, right now we're going to be very careful with the subject, but it's going to be something like, we can leave it blank and it'll use the one that's, if we leave it blank like that and leave this one blank, it'll use the subject that we put in our sign request here. It'll use this one. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now, except there's a little trick here that I have to show you. This will not work being blank. The message can be blank, but the subject is going to need to be, let me explain. So we get down to the subject. We can leave these blank, they said fix me, but and the message. If we blank them out from fix me, it will just use these. But what we can do, however, is maybe we want the subject to say the person's name. So we could say, we can make the subject be sign request for, and at this point we can insert our name of the person, just like that, if we wanted to. So that's why it's there. You can actually put individual per signature data right here. Signers, same thing here. So what we want to do is right in here for the email, this one is important. We're going to make a tag like that, percentage, and then go with email address. Very important right there. So first name, last name. Well, I'm going to just copy this right here. Put that there. I'm just going to use the same name for both of those, but you typically in a database you should have a first name and a last name. We highly recommend it. Don't have a single name. Always first name, last name, and that you could put right there. So this is where it's going to send an email to. Make sure this one says needs to sign true. Okay? And that is important. Next one is, that's your first signer, and it should be the very first one up there. So that is the first signer. Now we can make another signer right here, and this is the important one. This one here we are going to make is, what's going to happen is after the person signs, so first step is they are going to get, and the person is going to, first signer is who needs to sign is going to get an email that this needs to be signed, and they're going to be able to go to sign it. Once they've signed it, they're going to get a response back that is going to have the signed document. We also want TeamDesk to get a response back with the signed document. It's pretty important to get that signed document. And that's what the second one is right here. We can keep adding more signature people here if we wanted to, so keep that in mind. But one of them needs to be our TeamDesk person. And where are we going to have that sent to? It's going to be sent to our TeamDesk mailbox, which in this case is going to be, heck with it. I don't remember what it is. I'm going to go over here and look. From to that one. There we go. That's our email address that we want to get this back to. If we use this email address, really don't care what the first and last name is, and we need to make sure this says needs to sign false. What's going to happen is the signature is going to be returned to TeamDesk and drop into the mailbox, and we can work with it from there. And down here are two more important things. This is the name of the file that is going to be returned. So we could call it signed document. There we go. Ain't that great? And we can do right here is the template. So where do we get the template? That's where this comes in handy. We go over here, get SignRequest variables. Remember it said count 0. Well, that was before. Now we've made a template. So let's do get templates again. So this is why we need this table. We need this table here. You hide it from everyone, but you're always going to need it because anytime you make a change to templates or add a new template you want to use, you have to run this again. Now all of a sudden I have one template, and this lets me go through and read what's in the template that I can use. So in this template, the first thing we know is, well, this is the URL for the first one, and it's the sign test. That's the one we want to use. We need this right there. That's what we need. I'm going to copy it and go to setup, and that's what goes right in here, just like this. Poof. So down here, prefilled tags is where we add our tags that we did, and we can add more than one. If we had to do another one, we put a comma in the next one. But right now, all we had was one of them. If we go over here to remind ourselves, we can look for the tags. Oh, there's the external ID, client name, right there. I hate it when it does that. Should not have clicked, but it's called client name. So over here, we want client name. I didn't capitalize it this way. Client name. And let's put our client name in there again. Like that. This will all work. So this is what we're going to do.